Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, this trade war between the United States and China may actually turn into a real war, a real conflict. Let me tell you what's going on. Now, you guys might remember last week I reported to you that China was flexing its muscles in the South Asia, in the Asia-Pacific region, when it sent out a major show of force with battleship groups and 40 surrounding boats and submarines in a very unprecedented move. Well, now we're finding out, according to reports out of South China Morning Post, as Beijing flexes its naval war muscle, the United States is preparing for its own show of force. Naval drills in Asia-Pacific region and in close proximity to the aircraft carrier of China, the Pentagon's reportedly sending an unprecedented 3 aircraft carrier battle groups to the region. The USS Theodore Roosevelt flotilla arriving in Singapore sometime early next week. Also, separately, keep an eye on the USS Carl Vinson and its fleet. They've just paid its first visit to Vietnamese capital, city of Da Nang, since the end of Vietnam War. And a move Chinese military experts said was aimed at countering Beijing's influence in the region. Meanwhile, China is believed to have deployed the DF-21D, the carrier killer is what they call it, in the East and South China Seas to fend off any possible U.S. aircraft carrier battle group attacks on coastal cities and the country's economic heartland. So as Trump continues the war of word of a tariff war with China, let's put it in perspective. Trump is not creating a trade war. The trade war has been going on for the last 4 presidential administrations. Trump is now finally responding. And China knows it. And so they're concerned where this might go. Maybe China's anticipating a strike on a U.S. aircraft vessel. And they know that if they did, the U.S. would retaliate. So China's putting some of their aircraft carriers in position to guard their industrial cities. Now, President Trump maintains an aggressive approach to trade policy because overlapping these naval war drills could be the symptoms of diplomatic and economic relations between the United States and China rapidly deteriorating, at least in the press, with the onset of a rapidly expanding trade war. Both countries announced tit-for-tat tariffs this week, which sent shockwaves through the global markets. President Trump maintained his aggressive approach to trade policy. Again, I got to say, he's just responding to 4 administrations, the last 4 presidential administrations who have literally sold this country down the river, seriously. Well, as far as our economics, our manufacturing base, which in turn affects our economical position. I mean, are you serious? So President Trump is maintaining this position. Now, for anyone who missed it, in the span of last 72 hours, China reacted to Trump's $50 billion tariff threat by declaring matching those tariffs of its own on 106 U.S. export products, including aerospace, automobiles, defense, and even soybeans. This is a tit-for-tat retaliation. Trump slapped China with an additional $100 billion then on tariffs. Trump is saying, I'll double down on you. You are way out of balance. All I'm doing is trying to somehow start to bring us all back into fair playing field. If you're going to go back with tariffs on us, I'm going to double down. I'll triple down. And I'm moving my aircraft carriers into the region. I'm not playing games with you. It's way out of balance. I got to get my country where it can take care of itself again and not be relying on people who at the end of the day would like to conquer us. Trump is playing a larger game, but he only has a short time to play it. He knows the next president will probably not continue it unless it's Mike Pence. If you could get 8 years of Trump and 4 at least of Pence, America has a chance to maintain its sovereignty for the next 50 years. If we're still here, obviously. I don't know if we're going to be here 50 more months. The Lord could return. I don't know. Do we even have 50 weeks? Sometimes I wonder. But one thing's for sure, we're living in the last days. So take a step back, look at it in a more broader perspective. This is Trump playing a long game in a short time. And that's basically what he has to do. And don't pay attention to the media and how they paint him as deranged and all that. This guy is so far out ahead of the media that they think they're leading. They're so far behind, they think they're in first place. Sort of like running track. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stay on top of this. We got a lot going on here.